This is a meeting of the Community Preservation Act, and this is the committee, and tonight is August 20th and 6 p.m., and we'll get started right on our agenda. The first item on our agenda is acceptance of minutes from July 30th and August 8th meeting. We also have to add in there the July 16th, which I overlooked when I was telling Ryan to put this together, but he remembered, and so that has to be in there too. Oh, wait a second, he left out on this one too. Okay, it's not, I thought it was just mine, but all of them are like that, so add July 16th in there, so that's what we'll have to do next month, or the next meeting, because they're not ready. He has to get them to me, and so I have motion to table.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. The treasurer's report, Andrew said there was no changes, but that's because he doesn't know that there is a couple changes. He is out in the eastern part of the state, so he wasn't able to be here tonight, and I did want to bring you up to date on this item too, because not the treasurer's report, because he didn't submit one, but on the actual information that I have from Mr. Saganor about our reporting. Okay, let's see. Okay, he sent me an email saying he wanted to confirm that Holyoke did not pass any CPA projects during FY18, and I responded, no, we did not. There is an online state database called CP3 where you have to report all the projects you complete each year, and we help communities to do that each year. This is Mr. Saganor from the coalition. Okay, but since you don't have any projects, there's nothing to enter. To make things easy for all the new communities, we have made a list of all the cities and towns that are too new to have done any projects, and submitted that to the state, so they will not be expecting a CP3 report from us this year. And but they will be expecting a CP1 and a CP2. The surcharge report, that is done by, if I'm not mistaken, the Board of Assessors has to do that report, and we just have to remind them to do that. It is due September 15th. And then the second form is due October 31st, and it's called the Fund Report. And this is analysis of our fund balance, and has to be done by the auditor. So we just have to make sure that we get those two things done and in.
Madam Chairman.
Yes.
You're referring to the city auditor?
The city auditor.
Okay, so if you don't mind me interrupting for a moment, both for the September 15th report and the October 31st report, Amy, would it be Amy's job to email the Board of Assessors and the auditor to alert them that they have to, on our behalf?
Yes, that would be
file
good.
These?
Yes.
Right, Amy,
Yeah.
is that okay with you?
I'm going to give
more information to
Yeah,
understand.
I'm going to give you this,
Oh.
which is the information about it. And you don't have to do anything, know the particulars. They have to know the particulars about what they have to report. They know about this probably already, but just in case, we're just reminding them. And seeing that you're here during the day and they can ask you any questions, it would be better if you got in touch with them.
And how do I contact the Board of Assessors?
Email?
So, okay, that's just, they're located here.
Yes, they're right across the hall here.
Oh,
The assessors are,
Okay.
yes. And then you know where the auditor is. We went there once. And, email him.
just email them to remind them?
Yes.
Yes, and Amy, Madam Chairman, Amy, if they could confirm with an email reply to you to say, yes, we're aware of thank you for reminding us, or some such thing, and we'll do our obligation for the 15th and for the 31st.
But do they need information from me on
No,
how to
no,
do this?
No.
They should know how?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
This is just a friendly reminder from us to do something that they already know about, and if
Okay.
they could return an email and saying, yes, we're in receipt of your email, indicating
Right,
that.
just to get it in writing?
Yes.
Yeah, Okay.
Okay, I'd like to add that we get a copy of their report so that we can put it in our binder. for this year. Get a copy of whatever it is that they're sending to the state. Make sure that we get one too.
Seeing that we do have the reporting obligation, if the deadline looks like it's slipping and we need to intervene on an emergency basis, it'd be nice to have the email trail and nice to know that yes, we have contacted them, yes, they should be on track.
Yes. Oh, you mean responding to Mr.
Yeah.
Saganor?
Or, no, responding to Amy.
Oh, they respond to
Yeah.
Amy, yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
and I want to make sure, I think we all want to make sure that this isn't one of those things that somebody in an office says, yes, yes, we'll get to, and then it's the day before and it hasn't been gotten to.
I did have a question, but is this reporting based on the funding that was decided on for 2017, and we're calling it 18?
It's the legislative requirements as part of the law
Okay,
that they want to,
the fiscal
ahead.
year, she's asking.
The
what's-
fiscal year, I'm
what-
asking.
yeah.
Yeah.
The fiscal year runs, 2018 started July 1st, 2017 to June 30th, 2018. That's the fiscal year they want the report from.
Okay, can you say that again? July
Okay.
17 to,
No, July 31st.
Yeah.
No, wait a second. July 1st starts the fiscal year. July 1st, 2017, and to June 30th, 2018. That is the city's fiscal year, and that's what they will be reporting on.
so this is a reporting on all the fees, the amount that they've collected from property
And they only
owners.
collected from January 2018 until.
Yeah, well, they know what they
know
did.
that, yeah, so that's.
You don't
so
have
it's-
to worry about
I
the
know, but
details.
it's helpful for me to understand.
Yes,
Yeah,
oh, sure,
um,
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. If you have any
Because it
questions.
seems like there's some CP things that I'm gonna have to send eventually, right? Like the CP3?
No, I don't,
No?
yes, about the projects, but we don't have to do
I
that.
know we don't have to do that this year, but
This year.
next year that would be
Next year, that will
something
be
that I would do?
yours.
Okay.
Yes, yes. CP3, it's called.
and Amy, it's a form that, I mean, you don't have to compose
Yeah.
a narrative. There's just questions and answers.
Yeah.
You know, what did you do? What did it cost? And so, an update. I mean, you don't have to perform an audit or anything like that. It's,
Right, I
the state
understand.
wants to know what you did with the money. So it's pretty much, and the Stuart from the Community Preservation Organization, they have that form.
Yeah,
And they'll be
I
there-
actually am gonna be speaking with him
Oh,
tomorrow.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, good, yeah. So it's easy peasy,
okay.
especially this year, since there's nothing doing.
Do you have another agenda, Amy, for Libby?
Hi. Oh, yeah, good, how are you?
Okay, any other questions about the reporting? Did you have any questions about that at all? No, okay. All right, we can move on to the next agenda item, which is update on Facebook page and website. Oh, good, you're just in time.
Thank you. I've been trying to do the Facebook page and call it Community Preservation, Act, and it's giving me some opposition. It's telling me that it has to be a first name and a last name. So when I put Community and then Preservation Act, it's not accepting that, so it's like revising it. So Darlene Elias, which she just did a page for something else, she gave me another insight on how to do it. So I'm gonna have to do it based off of my page, off of my Facebook, and add a page. And then I can call it Community Preservation Act. And then we can go from there, and then I can assign people to be administrators, which they can go in, and I'm not sure who's interested in doing that. You can go in and like post things, probably, I don't know if the website person, but I don't think that we should mix one thing with the other. But any one of us here can be an administrator. I can add them as an administrator, give them the passwords, and they can go in and like modify anything, update a picture, add something. So
this-
that's the only way that I can do it, to have our name that we want displayed on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
can't just be friends of it and post.
You can be friends of it, and, I mean, you can post like comments, but you wouldn't be able to put, like, modify like a cover page or change a picture, because you have to be an administrator to do that. So, that's what I'm working with now. Now that I know that I can do it that way, I'm gonna add it to my Facebook as a page, and then I can add whoever's interested from the board to be an administrator. I don't know if Mimi wants to be an administrator, whoever wants to be an administrator, I can add them.
I think it would make sense for me to be an administrator
Administrator?
because I'm
Okay.
already working on the website and there have been some changes. So if this
Sounds
is the
perfect.
CPA Facebook page, then we'll need to make sure they match and
Exactly.
deadlines. But I'm surprised that it has to go under your account. I would think there's
Right.
another way to do it, I
I
believe.
don't know if anybody knows.
I'll ask at my store, we have a Facebook page for Conklin, and I doubt that it went through my marketer. I think, so let me ask her
Make
tomorrow.
sure you talk in the microphone,
Yeah.
because people are.
Oh,
are
ask them, yes, because we tried to do it for this radio show that we have,
Right.
and there was no way, it wasn't allowing us to call it what we wanted to call it. And the only way was that Darlene did it through her Facebook account, adding it as a page.
Maybe the way to do it is to start a brand-new Facebook
Right.
account.
And we
just
did.
specific-
I
oh,
did that
okay.
with a new email address and
Oh, I
everything.
see.
And it didn't accept the name. It said it has to be a first name and last name, what you're known for in the community. So it doesn't let you say community preservation. So when I put community as a first name and preservation act as a last name, it said no, that's not correct. And then it wants a date of birth. So it usually associates it like with a
Last year,
person.
Last year.
I know. So I'm like,
Well,
okay.
Maybe
I don't
that's
know,
okay
it's-
as long as the actual Facebook page is gonna be titled what it is.
Exactly.
And people are not gonna know that it's connected to somebody's
Right.
account, right? So-
No, it comes out as a page, so I will start sharing it as a page. So we can start there, but if you want to ask
Well, I'll
before I
ask.
do that,
I will ask. If it's anything different than that, then I'll let you know.
yes.
Okay.
And if not, I'll do it under my, it doesn't matter, I don't mind doing it as long as it's affiliated separately.
Sure.
Yeah,
And we don't have to have everything on our website be on Facebook. This is just gonna be maybe about meetings and what,
right, like
Or
quick little,
projects.
or
like,
projects
you
that
know,
we
I
have.
would
projects.
assume we could put things like deadlines on there
Yeah.
for the
Yes, you
application.
could put dates, deadlines.
even like, pictures and updates that otherwise would take a little bit longer to put on the website. We can like throw them in there, like spontaneous, last minute
And
events
then
or,
that page should link to the website as well.
yes, you can link it to the website,
Oh,
exactly.
good, perfect, that sounds good.
So I'll wait to hear from you before I move on to do it.
I'll contact her tomorrow.
Okay.
And tomorrow, like late morning, and then I'll just, if it's anything different, well, I'll let you know one way or another.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Sounds good.
Okay, great, thank you, Libby.
Yes.
The website, both Amy and I have been, Amy actually worked with Joanne for an afternoon on the website, and I just wanted to tell you that we were able to get Joanne paid at the last, up to the last invoice she gave us, she's paid for.
Yeah, and
all
I
that
think she's gonna have to
Yeah.
get a new payment.
Right,
yeah.
exactly. So do you want to talk about what you and her did on the website?
Okay, and also I need to learn about how that will work in terms of paying Joanne and how much money is in the budget for that. Yeah, so one of the things I've been problem solving with her and just on my own by looking at others, other towns and how they set up their CPAs is how to make it really clear. Okay, so what we have right now is an application that's a PDF, and it has the timeline of deadlines on there, and that makes it difficult to change those deadlines, and we did change the deadlines. But I looked at other, websites, and I saw that we can resolve that, because I was thinking maybe we should have a fillable, there are a lot of things. I was thinking maybe there should be a fillable form that people can submit through the website, the application, but that's kind of expensive, and I don't think it's really necessary. So what I think we need is a website, a page, a new page that has the things that can be easily changed, like, the deadlines on there, or any news we have to give, and then link to the forms. So kind of separate, let me see, I don't know if I have that with me, but, so instead of having this page, for example, with all the timelines here, the timeline, we would just, and all this information, it would, we would have a link directly to the fillable form. That way it would be easier to update things that we need to update. So that's what I'm working on with her. And also, right now, we don't have anything on there about how to submit, which is a real issue, and that's something we need to talk about.
Talk about
Because
that.
since I'm part-time, I think, we need a way for people to submit even if I'm not here. So even though, yes, I have the Wednesday hours, 1 to 3, and there'll be times that I'm gonna be here, it's not really fair that somebody can't walk in and just submit an application. But I think what we're gonna do is have a way for them to email me the PDF, or mail it, or be able to walk in,
Yeah, I can't imagine why you couldn't just ask the city clerk to
Yes,
set
well,
up a
that's what
Dropbox.
a Dropbox?
So just, yeah, put a cardboard box in the city clerk's desk.
The city clerk or the mayor's office?
City clerk, I would say, because the city clerk is where you go for anything. If you need any document, if you need to be sworn in, if you need to ask for a dog license or take out papers to run for office or anything, basically you're going to the city clerk's
Is
office.
that on the first floor?
Yeah, it's right around
Okay,
the corner here.
because Rory had offered for this to be just at the mayor's office, a box there. I know,
Yeah.
Elaine, you had some qualms with
I,
that.
the only thing is, I don't care whose office, if it's the mayor's office or city clerk's, whenever someone brings a project application to them, they need to in turn give them a receipt. We received your
Yes.
application on such a date. I just don't want any problems about if they lost the application in those offices or misplaced them or something, and then the person's, or people can say, oh, I dropped off my application, and maybe they didn't, but this way they'll have a receipt and we'll know also. We need to have something.
So maybe I could order that with the office supplies, some kind of receipt that, or
but
maybe they
again,
have that.
They
I
might
don't know.
have that.
Yeah,
they
they
could just do-
probably have, they at least certainly have we received this stamp machine in the clerk's office.
Yeah, she says she does have a stamp. I talked to Nilka that she can stamp it with the date and time on the actual application.
Perfect, and then they can do the receipt, stamp that, and give it back to the person.
Give the
that brought
receipt
it
to
in.
the person.
Yes.
So which do you think is better then, the mayor's office or the city clerk? Because you just
Doesn't
brought up
matter.
the city clerk.
City clerk's fine, yeah.
Yeah, I think the city clerk simply because that is the non-political arm of the city, and it is where things are trafficked through.
Who is the city clerk person?
Brenna McGee.
Brenna,
Brenna?
Brenna McGee, she's been out on vacation, but she should be back now, today.
And they have normal, regular hours.
Yeah, they have
too.
normal hours. The office is
Okay.
always staffed.
Right,
Right.
always.
Okay, that
And-
sounds good.
Yeah. And she's got a staff, so there's always somebody there during normal hours.
Yeah, I think that's the better thing too, city clerk, that sounds good to me.
Okay, with a receipt and some kind of stamp.
They also have a stamp in the city clerk's office.
Okay, that sounds good.
There was something, the website, do you want to talk to them about the dates you changed?
Oh, yeah.
And put that on the website?
Yeah, so I changed I talked with Elaine about this, the applicant submission of eligibility form to September 14th, because it's taken me so long to have a permanent office, and we still don't have the submission on the website, so there really needs to be more time for people. So then the next thing to be, committee responds to eligibility determination forms is now late October instead of the 21st, because those dates were just put in by somebody else. And then the next one, applicants submit funding, and this is all on the website now. There's like a little news flash that pops up on the left that has the changed dates, so if you want to look back at that. But yeah, so then the next one, submitting the funding application, is for November 30th. And I've given a time, 12:30 p.m., because I've learned it's very important to have a time cutoff. And then the committee evaluates application and accepts public input December to February, because everything had to be pushed over a little. And then the other dates remain the same right now.
Getting into our evaluation time with the new schedule.
We'll have to move our butts, yes. Yeah.
I'm not sure that we've changed that evaluation time.
well, the 3 months that we have, what is it? November to February?
Yeah, but I don't know how else to handle that because of just the reality of,
Yeah, no, I have said a few times that I was concerned about how compressed the schedule is.
I'm concerned
But I'm
about
not
that.
surprised, and I agree that there's nothing you can do about this. You know, I think we should bear in mind, and we may need to reevaluate further if applications come in. You know, if we don't get anything that's complicated to evaluate, we're fine. If the Victory Theater comes in and we have to go through a multi-year serious business plan and get construction estimates and check their figures, that's going to be a lot of work. You know, we just don't know at this point.
Right.
it
That
won't
sounds
be the
good.
Victory Theater probably because they just got $11 million from the governor.
They need 43? They
They
need
need
43.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's all
Yeah.
right. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm concerned though too about how it's
Yeah,
compressed.
well, we'll see when
Okay.
we get there.
Yeah. I just have one question about the website. Did you put on there that you're going to be here Wednesday, 1 to 3?
Yes, I just added that today.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and I put the
And your
location of
room
the
office,
office.
perfect.
I'm not sure about putting a photo. I don't know if that's
That's up to you.
necessary, but,
That's up to you. Yeah.
yeah, and let's see. We're still talking about the website now, right?
Yep.
Okay, because I have other things that are not directly related to the
Okay.
website.
Anybody else have any questions on the website?
Yes, Amy, could you give us the status of, and you may have already done that and I didn't understand it, that a person can come online and fill out the application form online? Is
Yeah,
that
so there
doable
is
now? Is it doable now?
There's a fillable form, but people at this point just have to print it out and bring it, or they have to somehow save it and email it to me. But we don't have directions yet about,
Who would form those directions?
well, I'm going to make that clear, but it's complicated because the way the website was set up, all of this was on a PDF form based on a Word document.
I don't know.
Right, so I'm just saying it's complicated, so I'm going to be working on that, but I had to research how other CPAs are handling this.
Okay, so you're in the process of
Yeah.
doing that.
Right.
A year from now, a person would be able to have the ability to do that.
No,
Is
right
that
now,
correct?
to do what? To fill out the
If I
form?
was online and I could just fill it out and press a button and it goes right.
Well, there's
through.
no, we're not gonna have there's, the only way you could press a button like that, I think, it's probably not gonna be pressing a button, but it will be clear that people have to attach it to an email that goes to me if they want to submit it digitally. Because to do what you're saying, I was looking into that, requires using some other kind of form program, which according to our website person would cost $100 per month. So unless we can find some other,
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
No, you, go
Yeah.
ahead. I was just
so,
asking, that's all.
yeah, that's what I wanted too, is what you're talking about, but I think, people can do it this way also, just by,
If that works with you, if it works with
Yeah.
everybody, it works with me. I was just
Yeah.
wondering.
yeah.
That's all.
I think anybody who is sophisticated enough with computers to be trying to submit online will understand how to save a PDF and attach it to an email.
Right, and the instructions will be on there, which is what I'm gonna be working on, yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, any other questions on the website or the Facebook page? Okay.
I haven't even seen so the Facebook page is not up.
It's not
yet.
up.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're
we're
gonna
working on
utilize,
that.
Yeah.
we're utilizing, consistent pictures that already Elaine sent them to me that we use for the website and that we've used in the past on the Facebook page.
Okay.
And then just have what is CPA and just all that summarized information of the different points.
And I have your email, right? I should have your email.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And I
We'll be
received
in
your
touch.
email
Okay.
about using not your personal one, but your
Right.
business one.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next item, discussion on public meeting, and I just want to apologize now because I could not think of the word category, and thank goodness Kip's there. Category. It was so funny, I kept saying 3 things that we oversee. 3 things that we oversee. But anyways, that was no big deal. That was just for a laugh. I did get a complaint about that. We didn't outreach enough about these meetings and any meetings that we have, but if anybody has any suggestions, I think we pretty much covered on our outreach. You know, we did the newspapers, the online stuff, we did it on Facebook, we did it on our website, we did it on the city's website. I don't know what else we can do. Besides, this person wanted us to send them a letter every time that and that would cost $1,000, so there's no way that we could do
No,
that.
it's a continuing problem. Every agency and board in the city that wants community feedback struggles with it. And I don't see what more really could have been done, practically speaking. You know, we tried, everybody tries, and if you're lucky, word gets out. If you're not lucky and there's no pressure group that happens to be interested in your issue at the moment, you know, I would love to see a better mechanism, but so far, the city just doesn't have one.
Well, I think that, and this had to do with the letter, right, that we received from,
Oh, no.
no?
No, this
What
was
is
a phone
this?
call. I
Oh,
got a
this is
phone
a
call
phone
today.
call.
Yes, I was just,
But does it go back to maybe
the meeting we
the
just had.
meeting we had?
The one we
That it
just had.
wasn't marketed the right way, or?
No, it was marketed okay, but they just wanted more outreach because they didn't know about it. They don't have a computer,
Oh, okay.
you know, so I don't know. I don't know if just think about it. If there's another way, because we're not having a meeting anytime soon, you know.
Right.
Wait, who was it who didn't know about it?
Pardon me?
Who
Just
didn't know
one
about it?
particular
Just
person?
one person. Just
Okay.
one person called.
Didn't know about the CPA?
No, she didn't know
Public
about that
meeting.
public meeting we had at the senior center
Mm-hmm.
on the 31st, so. Okay, so any other critiques on the public meeting for the next time we have one? Does anybody have any ideas on how we can improve?
Was it placed on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we did, yeah.
Right. I
Yeah.
think it was
Okay.
pretty great. I just feel like, you know, the constructive criticism that we received from perhaps the inaccurate information on the plan and whatnot, that can be all modified, and maybe we should have paid a closer attention to it, like even myself, you know? But just so many things going on, we're a new you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Growing
We're a
pains.
new committee, and I think that we're doing the best that we can to try to bring forward what we were set out to do. And it could be modified. Yeah.
Yes.
This plan has to come out each year.
Yes.
And I think that some of the criticism of what was and wasn't included in the plan, I think was based materially in the expectation that we were doing this for like 5 years or 10 years, and we weren't going to get an immediate second bite at the apple. And that happens with other plans, you know, things like the big community master plan. We're lucky if we get one in 15 or 20 years. So if you slip up with those, it's a big deal. This one, everyone who I've spoken to who has any criticism has instantly been soothed by the fact that we're doing it every year and we're going to be updating it regularly. So, you know, once they know that this is not set in stone forever, you know.
Okay, and that's one of the things we didn't do with this preservation plan was mark it 2018, because, you know, we forgot to put a date on it, but next year, we'll make sure it says preservation plan for 2019, and that's the calendar
Oh,
year.
this should be.
But it does have a date on it.
Right.
It says 2018.
Oh, it does?
2018, yeah. It does
Okay.
have it.
Well, but it doesn't say for 2018, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that way
well,
they
so-
know that next time it's gonna come up.
A lot of other CPAs do FY 18,
Oh,
so
okay.
for the year, and they have a draft that they put on their website.
Yeah, we did
So people
that,
can look
yeah.
at the draft.
Yep,
That's what I'm noticing.
And then
Yes,
like
we did.
comment,
I didn't get that far, but I just
Oh,
saw that
okay.
there's a draft, maybe that's put up there, and then maybe there's a comment period or some kind of public
yeah,
forum.
that
that's something we should do
preservation
next
plan
year.
is on our website.
Yes, I know it
Yes.
is, but I'm just trying to show you that they did it in stages like that, you know. so-
Right,
That's a good
right.
idea.
Yeah, we did too. It was out there, the draft.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
did-
we
She-
didn't
she put
have
the draft
the
out there.
website in time to use the,
Right.
you know, this kind of iterative process. We did certainly send the draft around for circulation, and there were multiple occasions for people to comment, but there wasn't the kind of easy access to the public that a website allows you. But I think
mean,
maybe next year, if we just include a paragraph or two up front that's sort of a narrative of where we came from, this is what we have incorporated into this year in response to feedback.
Is this plan going to be my responsibility next year? Or-
No, well, yes and no. I mean, you might end up having to get it printed, but it will make the, the changes. But we need feedback from some other,
Right.
department heads to tell us what the changes need to be. But we'll do that in the spring, not till the spring, late spring.
And I assume that we're
June.
going to learn over the next year as people come in with things, what got overlooked in this plan, what the city needs were that the community feels weren't met, that they didn't talk to us
Well,
about.
I-
Maybe they didn't know the process was happening.
Right.
We'll
Go
be in
ahead,
a
Libby.
much better position to update it than we
And I
were to
think
write it in
that-
the first place.
Because we also, based our plan and a lot of the information that Roberta from the, that
Oh,
she,
it was her.
right.
She's
It was
the one
her,
that
so
did it, yeah.
I know that the information on the demographics was completely wrong because, the Latino percentage of people here, it was off by a lot. So they were saying, 20-something percent, and it's really almost 50%. So that, was something that should have been caught, and we should have fixed it. And also about the private or mixed income with open square and all of these, places that are completely, market rental. So we had a few things that we didn't do, and we'll get better at it.
I agree.
I read over the draft, and I didn't pick up anything.
I know, I
In
didn't
60
pick it up.
pages, that was a lot. I
Yeah.
had to do a few pages every night, but I read through the whole thing, and I didn't, of course, I'm not adverse about, I'm not adverse about what's the housing situations and things.
Right.
Can I just ask, though, that maybe, before we move on, like, Libby, could I maybe talk to you sometime about the plan, just to get more of an understanding of
Sure,
how it fits into this whole thing? Okay, thanks.
sounds good.
Okay, anything else on the public meeting or the criticisms that we received here and there? I think we can move on that. Item 5, discussion and vote on rules of committee. I hope everyone had a chance to look at them.
I did, and I had one question about it, which
Okay.
may be covered in the next item on our agenda, which is that we're still talking about January meeting, or January organizing meeting, and a January election of officials
In the rules and regulations?
in the rules that I saw, unless I don't have
Where
the
was
most recent draft.
that? Are you talking about the ordinance? Or
No, I'm talking
okay.
about our
Where
rules.
was that?
That was, I'll have to pull it up.
I have a hard copy if you want to look at it.
Okay, I do not have hard copy.
Sure.
Yes, Article 3, Paragraph 1, the first committee meeting in January shall begin as an organizational meeting. At that time, the committee shall elect a chair, a vice chair, a
Oh,
treasurer.
okay, yeah, that has to be changed. You're absolutely right. Yep,
That was the only thing I caught, that.
yes. Okay, I'll get back to him on that. And we'll save it, we'll have to table it till next meeting.
Well, I would think that we can probably vote, I mean, if nobody else has anything, we can vote to accept it as amended.
We could do that, or just get it back to him and have him make those corrections. I thought he made those corrections because we had to do a correction to the ordinance because it said the same thing, so I thought he had put it in there too, but he didn't, obviously. Okay. All right, so what's your preference, to vote tonight and with the amendments, or do you want to wait till next meeting and have the finished product, hopefully?
Well, if we know what the dates are with the ordinance, and the ordinance is moving through the process, and we're reasonably confident that it's going to be adopted, I would say we pencil in the new dates, or rather ink it in, and vote to accept them as amended, and that way we can get it off the agenda.
Is there a second to that? Second. Okay, so, under discussion, the changes, I have the change to the ordinance here. So, any given year shall maintain a following schedule. So this is specifically about organizational part, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In July, each designating authority shall appoint members in accordance with Section 2-467. That's basically what that has to say, I guess.
But that,
That July, because we're starting a new fiscal year, we're starting a new year of projects. They just guessed at that January date. Why, I don't know, but it has to be July.
yeah, but the July date for designating members, and presumably also for the city council getting replacing the at-large members is a different issue from when we have our organizational meeting.
Oh, you're talking about the chair and that stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, because I thought
Yeah,
that
we
you
should
and I
have to
had
do that
talked
in
about.
July with the new people, right?
Yeah.
It still should be July.
Yeah, and I thought, perhaps I misunderstood. At some point or other, you and I had a conversation, and you said, oh, yeah, Paul is working on that, we're going to change it.
Right. And he didn't, so we need
Okay.
to, what is it, we just need to change January to July?
Well, we do if there aren't any other changes in the ordinance I didn't see,
Okay,
but that was the one that I saw. And I don't think that our rules are affected by when the city council and the various appointing authorities appoint members. So this is probably the only date that needs to be changed in
Okay.
the rules.
That's not every year, every other year, every second
Should
year?
be every year we vote on who's gonna be chair, vice chair, secretary, treasurer. We need to do that every year.
And is ours a 2-year appointment?
I'm not sure what yours is. I only know Kip is a 1-year appointment, Andrew is a 2-year appointment, and I'm a 3-year appointment. How long the rest of you guys are appointed, I don't know.
That's it.
So
Does
presumably,
it say anywhere? It doesn't,
no,
God bless you.
the-
It doesn't say anywhere in the ordinance?
the appointing authorities get to decide for themselves the terms under which they're designating their members. But I think
Russia.
after this first cycle, I think whoever is appointed, I'm assuming it will be Kip, for the next at-large appointment is going to get a 3-year term, and everybody thereafter will be 3-year terms. That initial staggered term was just to make sure that the office or the members were rotating regularly.
Yes, I agree. Yes, that's how it works. So if you're up for reappointment, you have to decide if you want to serve for 3 more years, because that's how it's going to work. Hopefully you will.
Okay, so we're gonna have to vote on this motion that you
Yes,
guys.
yes, we just, all right, so is that, any other changes to the rules and regulations? Did everybody read them over? Okay, so Mimi, our lawyer person who can see things like that.
No,
I missed plenty, believe
Thank you for finding
me.
that mistake
Thank
before
you.
we, so we're just gonna change the month from January to July.
Yeah. Following the appointment of anybody that the city council is adding.
Okay. You want to add those words in to the?
I don't think, again, I'm not looking at the draft, but I think it just.
She has it right there.
Okay. The first committee meeting in January. Yeah, I would change that just a little to be the first meeting in July following the city council's designation.
Write that
of-
down on there. Here. Oh, you got it.
Okay, what I've got is the first committee meeting in January following the city council's appointment of at-large members shall begin as an organizational
Not
meeting.
January, July,
Right.
July, yeah. Okay.
If
So
that language works for people,
I'll have to have that back, and we'll make sure that Amy gets a copy of our final, and everybody has a copy of it. So, all in favor on voting for the draft, rules and regulations for our committee with the change following July, changing the date to July, the month to July following the city council's appointment of at-large members. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Item 6, update on changes to CPA ordinance. Well, we just kind of talked about that, but basically, they had the wrong dates in there. The ordinance didn't match our schedule, so basically, it's in the ordinance committee right now. I don't know if they'll call us in to want to talk to us about it, but it's just changing the months from the months that coincide with how we're gonna be doing our projects. And, so we have to submit the operational and administrative budget to the mayor in accordance with section 2-469, which means in the spring before he's doing his budget, or when he's doing his budget, we have to submit. In July, each designating authority shall appoint members in accordance with section 2-467, and we have to meet no less than 4 times a year. That's what that's what that says. So this is just informational. This is for the city council to
Right,
vote on.
Right. Is Andrew aware of that, Madam Chairman? Of the
spring?
budget, of the need, for the mayoral need?
Yes, he is, because we did it already in the spring.
Okay, so
we
he's
did it.
aware of it?
Yes, he is.
Amy, are you aware of that report that Andrew has to do for the mayor? We were just referring to it moments ago.
I'm sorry, can you say what the report is?
Well,
It's in the spring. It's not till the spring. We have to submit our budget to the mayor in the spring, every spring for that fiscal year. Or not that, the next fiscal year coming up, excuse me.
Okay,
Yeah.
because, I'm unclear about what our fiscal budget is right now for
Well,
the
yes,
projects that come in.
right. We don't have one yet for this year. For fiscal 2019, we don't have a budget yet. We're going to be working on it. You have that whole list of stuff. We have to put supplies in there. We have to
Right.
do it's going to be done in the fall.
Okay, but I'll need to be already spending money, though, before that's fixed. You know,
It's
for
okay.
supplies to pay Joanne.
We did it for this year, so you can do what you have to do.
Administrative expenses.
Yeah.
Okay, so the one that Andrew gave us before, is that relevant to this year?
Which one did he give you, this outline here?
Right.
This thing here?
Yeah, that one.
Yes, this is it.
Okay, because there's not more money in there for the website, for example. It just says, like, on the amount already spent.
Right.
Web services.
Okay, so he just has to do more details now that we have more.
And you also
information.
voted in, money for administrative supplies in the last meeting, remember?
Right, exactly.
yeah, it all has to
He
be-
has to bring this up to date now.
Okay.
He wasn't able to be here tonight.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yes, there was another $45 spent on the web services and,
And I think that's kind of ongoing because she's still working with me,
right.
yeah.
And the thing about the budget is that, and Amy, you know this already, because they explained to us, when somebody needs a bill paid, Amy has to do up a requisition and, what's the other thing called? A requisition?
Purchase order.
Purchase order and a requisition. And copies of those has to go to the treasurer because she has to know to subtract that money from our,
Oh, so it has to go to Andrew?
Andrew and you are going to work on it.
But when you say the treasurer, you mean Andrew?
No, the treasurer downstairs.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I didn't explain that
Okay.
better. That was my fault. The city treasurer has to know about
Okay, and
the
who is the city treasurer?
Sandy Smith.
Okay, because, I was trying to remember this, because I already have one I need to give her for
Sandy
the
Smith. Well,
coalition.
okay, she needs a copy of that for her records to show that that's subtracted from our bank account,
Mm-hmm.
and then over to purchasing, they need copies, the two places.
And does Andrew need a copy too?
And you should have a copy too.
Okay, so who in purchasing gets it?
Who's what's her name, Deborah? Debbie? No. I forgot her name there at the desk. Brenda, as you
Oh,
walk in.
Brenda, okay.
Yes, you know Brenda.
Okay,
Okay,
so those are the 3 people that have to get copies whenever I do any purchase order?
Yes.
Okay, thank
And Madam Chair, who's
Yes.
vendorizing the different vendors that we are dealing with? Is it Andrew or is it the treasurer at the city hall?
vendoring,
Vendor-
will be Amy and
Oh, okay.
Andrew together.
Okay.
Do you mean like creating vendors?
Then,
Right, like
yes.
with the W-9 and
Yeah,
making
we already
sure
did
that
that,
when.
for
oh,
example,
you
for
did
the
it.
coalition, but there's
Yes.
probably other ones.
Yes, there will be in the future.
Yeah.
We already have one for our website developer. We already have one for the coalition, and
But that's a good question. So is it okay for me to create vendors on the Munis form as needed? Okay.
as you need them, yes. And there was the third thing, what was it? Oh, when we did the printing in for the tax bill. Sorry, we have to go into so much detail here, but Amy's new and she needs to know everything, so.
Yeah, and
okay.
I'm unclear on how much I can spend and things
Exactly.
like that, so.
Yes, yes, well,
It's great questions.
Andrew and you need, will have to get together with that.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions on that? That was the CPA ordinance. Okay, so the, item 7, update on project manager's situation. Amy, that's, you can, finish. You can
I'm just
finish.
jotting down
No,
some notes
finish,
here.
finish writing what you have
Oh,
to write.
okay, yeah, okay, if I can just,
Yes, go
sorry,
ahead.
jot this down, because
Yes.
there's a lot of information that I don't want to get confused about, okay. Let's
We
see.
need to get you a laptop so you can do all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that, the laptop, that would be
Well,
good to
we'll-
have.
We'll see, wait, and
Is
see
that
how much money
something-
we have first before. I know Rory's office said that they were gonna maybe
Yeah,
have one for
but
you.
he's not
but
sure, is that right?
He's not sure,
Okay.
so press him on that, ask him one way or the other, and then we'll have a discussion about it, whether we
Yeah.
need to get you one. because
Yeah, that would be
you
good.
need to have a,
Yeah, because, I mean, I sometimes end up retyping all my notes just to keep them organized. So if
Exactly.
I had a laptop, it would just be there,
That's right.
So yeah, that would be better. Okay, let's see. Oh, so Elaine, we were emailing about, if you want to email me, but I'm working from home. I don't know if you got my last email. So what I was thinking is maybe I could just check email on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, even if I'm at home, in the afternoon. Just check it and then just keep track of the time I spend, responding to emails.
Okay, so we would use your home email?
No, never use my home email.
Well, that's what I'm
but
trying to straighten out here. How do
No,
we get
well,
in touch with you when you're not
you
in the
I will
office?
just know, that's what I'm saying. I will make a point of checking my work email from home, which I can do.
Oh, you can do that?
Yes, I
Okay,
can do that.
perfect. That's
But
perfect.
I'm not going to, I definitely want that email to be the only email people
Yes,
use.
yes.
Because it's just too confusing. And also, since I'm part-time, I do have to kind of distinguish between when I'm on duty and when I'm not. So what I'm saying is, because you're saying you want to be able to communicate with me
Mm-hmm.
at other times, is that I could, check email towards the end of the day on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Wednesdays, I'm going to be here anyway for office hours 1 to 3. And does that seem okay? Is that sufficient? I mean, is there a reason you'd want me to check? I mean, since it's a part-time job and the hours are sort of variable, it seemed like that would kind of,
Yes, if
be
you
enough.
can check your emails at home, that's perfect.
but
And-
it's not going to be every single day that I'll be
No, no.
checking, just
Well,
those days.
I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
so you'll know that if you email me Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, that later that day I'll check.
Okay, that'll
Okay.
be good. The only thing is I was concerned about that sign-up sheet because it was in the binder and you wanted me to tell you what they were and I didn't want to tell you I didn't have them, that they were here in the binder.
I don't know what you're talking
The
about.
project, the people who took project
Oh.
applications.
Oh, okay.
They're on that sign-up sheet and I didn't have it at home. I thought I did.
Uh-huh.
So I just wanted to let you know, but that's okay.
Is that a binder that I can take with me and put in the
Yes,
office?
you are
Okay.
going to be the official responsibility person for
So
that.
that binder tells the whole history of everything you've done
Pretty much.
and people you've contacted?
It has to be maybe updated the last couple months, but yes, pretty much.
Okay.
But
you'll
we'll
have to
go
let-
over it
let me
after the
know.
meeting.
Oh,
Okay? So tell us what your office is and what you have in there and what you need.
Okay, well, I will in a minute, but one thing I want to mention, because before I forget, is that, starting in January, Monday evening is not a good night for me to have these meetings, because I have a prior commitment. So I just want to make sure you know that. So
Okay.
we'll have to make it a different day. I was thinking maybe Wednesday might be good, since I'm already here, for office hours.
It's not good for me, but.
Okay,
we'll
doesn't have
see.
to be,
We'll see.
but,
We'll talk about it, yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I let you know that.
Yes, thank you for that.
Okay, so yeah, as I mentioned before, my office is room 6 on the second floor of City Hall. You walk across the ballroom, and it's to the right.
And you have a desk and,
I have a table, and Rory says I'm getting a desk. And I
Okay.
don't have a printer, so that's been a little challenging, but
he
Milk has
also
been
said he
helping
was going to get you a
yeah,
printer.
he said he was going to get me a printer. But yeah, I agree, a laptop would be really good.
And, yeah, so press him on that and find out one way or the other, because if they're not, then we'll have a discussion.
Okay. Oh, about possibly
For-
purchasing one, yeah.
yes.
And I think we covered the other points. I mean, mostly, yeah, I'm kind of confused about the budget, and I'd like to know, like, how much money is in each item before I spend it, you know, so.
Well, you got the report from the auditor. Remember that report that
Yeah,
had the
but,
list?
a lot of it, it's not put into the different categories, like
Okay.
how much money for each thing,
Okay.
so. Maybe Andrew has to work on that. I don't know.
Yeah, Andrew can, if he can't, I don't think he can do it, but I think someone here at City Hall, one of the department heads, I'm just not sure which one would do that for you. I think the treasurer, because she has to subtract everything from our account as we go
But
along.
isn't it also a matter of how much money you want to pour, you know, how much you want to put in each category? Because like,
We're
for
not
example,
gonna do
you,
that till the fall, because this year we didn't have anything to put in those line items.
yeah, but we're already spending some money on things from the
But it's
different
from
line
last year's budget stuff. I know it's
I
confusing.
know what's confusing is, like, for
Yes.
example, when I look at the sheet, like for the website, as I said, it only has the amount that's spent.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much can be spent, and there are going to
Right,
be more
exactly, you
bills.
need to know that, yes, absolutely.
Remember that there's a cap, a total cap for all
Right.
administrative expenses
A
of
percentage, right?
10% of
5%, I think
Yeah,
it is.
5%, yes.
Yeah, but,
So out of the money that we have, there's 5% that's towards that, right?
Okay, so if you look at that,
That's
Yeah,
all
I
you-
see,
and
but
that's
I-
all we have.
It's not broken down.
we can't spend more than $24,288. We
Yeah.
can't spend more than that. And that includes all our expenses for this committee.
Basically, we have not done a breakdown or a
Yeah, that's what I'm
detailed
saying.
budget at all, because we just didn't know where we were going to be, and we didn't know how much money we could reasonably allocate to these various things, or what we might need to allocate to them. So, you know, it makes absolute sense that you're asking about it, and what you're looking for does not yet exist. We're going to have to do something about thinking about what we do want to immediately allocate to what categories and have available to you, what we want to oversee, what we want to just leave to you. But that's a whole chunk of setup work that we haven't done yet, and that's why you can't find it.
okay, I mean, if it's okay with you that I just, you know, make sure I don't go over each, you know, item, and you leave that up to me to,
Yeah, no,
Well,
I
for
think
the- it's
that,
only for the time being.
yeah,
and
no,
you're
I
not
think
gonna
that's
ha-
not
yeah.
what we're
And you-
saying. It's
Yeah.
more that, you know, yes, we do need to set up a budget for, say, office supplies within which you will have discretion. And we have to see how much money we have, and how much money, for instance, if we have to buy you a printer and a laptop, we will feel comfortable allocating to that. Some of those are, I think, discussions and decisions that the committee has to make. And others of them, like what do you do when you need ink for the printer, are going to be things that absolutely you should make, and you shouldn't have to make a phone call before you can buy them.
Okay.
But that's basic setup work, and again, we haven't done it.
Well,
And-
the last meeting, we did a little bit of
okay.
that. We
Okay.
gave her $500 for supplies. That's at her discretion. And then the other thing is, I personally, as the chair, or whoever will be the chair in the future, can buy anything, you know, what was the cap, $200? Anything up to $200, we don't have to come back
wasn't
here
it, was it 200 or 250? I don't remember.
I think it was $250 per quarter.
per quarter.
I don't know what
Yes.
happened after I had
So-
to bail, but.
So, you know, we don't have to come back to the committee for anything under $250. So that's where we're at right now, and until we can sit down, Andrew needs to, you know, really get involved now in the budget and how to put it together.
Yeah.
Yes. So we will I will let
Can
him
that be
know.
put on the agenda maybe for the next
Yes,
meeting?
I will we're gonna
Okay.
have a budget meeting, just for that, and probably in September. And, yes, I'll tell Andrew he's gotta get ready for that. Okay, any other questions? I thought of something.
I do.
Yeah, what?
If we do get a laptop, I mean, even if we don't have one, is there some file management system that we can do? Like, does the city have, like, file setup procedures? We should be able to, you know, have some kind of central file system where we can go and you see documents received, documents issued, I don't know, projects, budget. Like, there should be a clear.
Yes, she's gonna have to set that up on Munis. That's gonna have to be
Munis, I don't know.
Munis, it's a municipal, website that she's using to do her work, and all her
That's
work's
for the requisitions and the purchase order.
Munis.
File management, though?
Yes,
Like,
it
it'd be
has-
nice not
yeah.
to just have one big folder.
It sounds
and
like
every
you're
document
talking about
dumped,
something else. Are you talking just about the budget or just all files?
Meeting minutes, agenda.
Yeah, it sounds like you're talking
documents
about sort of
received.
like when people use the cloud, something that everybody can access
Like a
anywhere.
Google Drive or
No,
something?
no. Munis has that access. You just don't know it yet, but they do. You can do
Well,
files on there. You
Munis
can do.
is very non-user friendly.
Yeah, so it's going to take her a while,
I'm
but
still
there
trying
is-
to learn it, and I'm scared.
I think my comment is more based on the longevity of our committee and
Exactly.
the ability to transfer every year or every
Yes,
2
yes.
I think that
years
we
from
should,
one
I
group to
think
the next.
Rory mentioned some kind of network drive, but I don't know if everyone here would have access or only people or.
I don't know that we all need access at all
Yeah,
times. I just want to
right.
make sure
We
that.
can't have access to Munis. We as a committee, but you can.
I know, but,
Yeah.
right, but I'm saying, since it's not very user-friendly anyway, there might be a network drive that that I'll be able to access from other places that
Well, I
would just
think-
be easy for all the files you're talking about.
I think someone will show you how to do that, and that would
This is
be,
not a hard technical
what was her name in Community Development Office that,
I mean, we could do this on
Alicia,
Google
but
Drive.
no, it's Jennifer Martin will sit down with you and show you how to do all that stuff in Munis, so you need to meet with her.
Right, but as I said, I don't think that Munis is very user-friendly, so that's why I was
But I
thinking
think
that
you
there's a
have to.
network drive.
Why do we
that
have to
people
use, I mean, if the idea is simply to have these documents all in a place where there will be historical organization and where people who need to consult with them can find them easily, I'm not sure why we need a proprietary system that only one person can access. I mean,
Be
setting
like a
these-
shared drive.
Yeah, setting up a shared drive with folders on it is not a
Exactly.
difficult problem.
And uploading everything electronically.
She can do that or not in the city's thing. So let's wait and see. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Jennifer Martin will show you what to do, because they do projects, they do files, they have all that information. So she's going to have to,
But if
and
we did-
she'll tell her if she can set up her own thing on the
If
side.
we did want to do a shared drive, we could do Google Drive, and we would be the only people who would have access to it.
Yeah,
you know.
okay, that's fine.
Like what
If we-
Roberta set up when she was doing the draft, she did a Google Drive, and we can go in there and look at the different documents.
Yes.
I mean,
Would
my
be very
point was
easy to do.
basically that regardless of what we need to do for record-keeping purposes through the city, you know, what we were talking about here is somewhat different and could be done in parallel to it very easily.
Right, because as time goes on, and especially when you do that CP3 report next summer, you're going to need access to all that information. Yeah. So anyways, and I think that has to be corroborated with the state, so I don't know how that works. I don't want to, that's why we hired you, Amy, because you're going to have to do that, figure that out. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Any projects received yet?
No, but I got a phone call from the Boys and Girls Club, and someone just wanted to introduce himself to me and wants to meet me next week. So not next week. Yeah, next week, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday.
Okay.
So
Well, I know there's projects out there, so I'm sure they're going to get them in.
yeah, I
soon.
mean, like the big thing is to make it clear how they submit, and then maybe they'll
yeah.
come in. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think they done enough projects. They know whether they want to do it in person or whether they want to mail it to you or whatever. But either way, that'll be up to them to decide which way they want to bring you the project application.
Yeah, but we don't have that clearly stated yet. That's what I'm working on the website. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Other business? Anybody have
Oh,
anything?
I don't
Yes.
think so.
Do you have other business? Anything else?
Not that I can think
That
of right
we,
now.
right now, okay. Okay, so next meeting date, let's get our calendars out so we can see when we can meet. Right near way, sorry, I didn't know it was there. Okay, so we're coming up to the end of August, so in September, I'd like to do a budget meeting, but we also should probably meet just for regular stuff too. So do you want to meet like in 2 weeks for, what does that come out to? 2 weeks?
The 3rd of September.
No, we can't do that.
Labor Day.
No, that's Labor Day weekend. Okay, so we could meet the 10th for our regular meeting. Does that work for everybody? September 10th?
Madam Chairman, is that for the budget, or is that,
No,
that's
the
regular?
next one. We're
Our-
gonna.
our regularly
This is
scheduled
a
meeting.
regular meeting, yes,
Is September 10th?
yes.
I feel like I should point out that my calendar says that that's Rosh Hashanah. I don't know whether that would be sundown on the 10th or whether it was actually sundown on the 9th. I don't know if that's a concern to anybody, but I have heard the occasional public complaint about the city's habit of scheduling meetings on the high holidays.
Can you let us know? I mean, we need to, if the 10th is okay, can you let us know that?
Well, I am not the final arbiter of this.
Well, I mean.
I mean, it's not a concern to me personally, but it is a matter of some sensitivity to, you know, other citizens of the city.
That we could do it the 17th, but then
Yeah,
we need to
17th.
schedule a budget meeting, and I would like to wait. I guess we
Madam
can.
Chairman, would the budget meeting be just Andrew, you?
No, I think you guys should have input, don't you? Don't you
Well,
want
is
input
that,
on the
is
budget?
that to draw up the
We're gonna
budget?
get together before that and then present to you the budget that night.
Right, well, the composition of the budget, is that going to require a full board meeting, or just,
You will
Just
have to,
approval of it.
you will have to vote on the budget, yes.
right, so, but, I mean, the budgetary meeting, are you referring to a budgetary meeting as that meeting when you draw up the budget, period, and then,
No, we're gonna do that ahead of time.
that's what I'm referring to?
Yes, we're gonna, Amy and Andrew are gonna work on the budget. And then that night, they're gonna present it to us, and we'll be voting on it.
So it's one meeting?
It's one meeting.
Okay.
But no, we're meeting the seventh. One regular board meeting, either the 10th or the 17th, whatever's your pleasure.
Okay, now I'm confused. So do you want me and Andrew to work on this before the 17th?
No,
Okay, no.
no.
Okay,
The 17th is just a regular meeting.
okay.
Or the 10th, which, let me know, what do you guys wanna do?
17th.
Okay, so we'll meet on the 17th, 6
Well,
o'clock.
now I am confused, because this budgetary meeting, we do need a budget. I mean, Amy needs to know what kind of money she can spend. And I thought that we were talking about you guys, you know, some subset of us, sitting down and working out what the budget was going to look like, and then at some point presenting it to this full committee so we could vote on it, so we would
I
have
said,
formal
that's what we're
authorization.
gonna do.
Okay.
Can you have it ready for the 17th meeting?
I don't want to promise, because I don't know what Andrew's schedule is, so I would rather, if we can do it that night, we will. If we
Okay.
can't, just in case we can't, we can either meet the 24th or October 1st for the budget.
Okay.
And we have to submit it in October, so that's the latest we can.
And Madam Chair, is this subcommittee already identified? Like who's part of it? Andrew?
It'll just be, it's not going to be a subcommittee.
It's
of
not
us.
gonna be,
It's-
okay.
It's going to be Andrew and Amy,
Andrew and Amy?
but I probably will have some
Okay.
input, just to answer any questions. But I'm
Oh,
not going to.
So Andrew and I will be deciding on the breakdown that Mimi is talking about, or I thought that was the committee's decision?
We'll approve it.
Suggestion.
Oh,
Yeah.
You and Andrew are gonna work on the budget, and I'll be involved too if you need me.
okay, so when is the budget meeting?
Well, it's either gonna be, this is for the final,
Okay, it sounds like there is,
So it's,
yes, there is no urgency to this that I am hearing in terms of it being ready for any time sooner than the 17th. So let's do the easy thing and set this up for the 17th.
right, but I can't promise that we'll have the budget, that they'll be able to figure it out by the 17th.
Yeah, but you're not-
I don't know
yeah.
Andrew's schedule.
Yeah, but Madam Chair, I think my point, just to be clear, is that it doesn't sound as though we're likely to have a budget before then. Because, if we did have a draft budget before then, and Amy felt that her work was being materially hampered by our not voting on it, then maybe there would be some reason to try to set up a meeting sooner. But if we can't be sure that it'll even be ready by the 17th, then I think, the 17th is plenty of time for our next meeting.
Yes, yes. that's-
Okay.
Our next meeting is the 17th.
Okay.
Okay. And then, but we may have, if the budget's not ready that night, we may need to meet the 4th or October 1st for just about the budget.
Okay, so there's a chance it might be ready on the 17th and then voted in. Okay.
If it's ready.
Okay.
Are we voting on this, or no?
No, we
On the
just have
September
to,
17,
no.
okay.
This is just discussion. Okay, so we're definitely meeting on the 17th at 6 o'clock, and it might be at the high school, because we may not be able to meet here that night. We're back to the high school again.
Nice.
What high school?
When will you know
Holyoke
that,
High
Madam
School.
Chairman?
What's that?
Madam Chairman, when will you know the location? Will you know it
Oh, I'll
prior
let you know.
to meeting?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I will. Yes. Okay, so 17, I gotta change the 10th to the 17th, regular meeting. Okay, and maybe budget. Okay,
Maybe we'll have some projects to talk about by then.
yes, yes. Well, yes, we have to have them in, because when's the deadline for,
Yeah, we've made it, I think, the 14th, yeah.
yeah, that's their eligibility part, the beginning stage. They have to have it in by that meeting, so we'll definitely have something to discuss, for sure. Okay, anything else tonight? That's not bad, it's just a little past 7. Okay, everybody's all set? Motion to adjourn?
Second it.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. I know. Oh, it fell off? Oh, okay, yeah, thank you. I don't have a pocket.